Welcome to the Iconic Wealth for Women show. I'm Kylie Anderson. I'm a global business strategist and founder of the Iconic Wealth for Women community. This show is where we dive into all things money, mindset, and making it happen. Real talk, real wealth, and real financial independence. This show is all around cash flow. Cash flow is queen to me. This is about helping you build your long-term wealth, making more money so that you can actually then invest and do more with it as well. We know that cash flow is obviously the lifeblood of wealth building. Without it, businesses struggle, investments stall, and financial freedom remains out of reach. With the right strategies, cash flow can become the engine that drives sustainable success and long-term financial independence. Over this series, we're going to cover in segment 1 the power of cash flow and some of the common challenges that happen in business and in life around cash flow. We're going to be talking about how it can help serve you and also how you can then turn it into your long-term wealth as well. We're going to discuss some of the common roadblocks that happen, and especially for women around achieving financial stability. In segment 2, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into creating what we love to talk about as recurring revenue, high profits, digital businesses, and things that you can leverage your existing knowledge and skills to create these types of cash flow in your businesses. We're going to break these down and go a bit deeper around it. In segment 3, we're going to be talking about where cash flow goes wrong or how things have happened in our businesses and what we've had to deal with, so that you can learn from us, so that if you're getting started, then you can avoid some of those pitfalls that we've dealt with. And then in segment 4, we go through some of the key takeaways, because we know actionable steps create cash flow today. If you don't take any action, nothing will change in your life. And we've just been talking about that heavily in a series we did around property. So I am joined today by some incredible guests that have built the successful businesses. And I'm joined today with Emma. Emma, thank you for joining me. Emma is the founder and CEO of Gateway HR. She leads a team of experts in people management, leadership development. And the thing I love about Emma, she's also diversified to create a HR hub, which is basically an online platform offering resources, training, and expert support to streamline her business. So we're going to dive into some of that today and how you can potentially do it in your business too. And then I've got the incredible Kayleigh Greenacre. Thank you so much for joining us. She's also a business strategist, coach, mentor. You're a TEDx speaker too. I love that. And a mum. It's so important to talk about being a mum and how we juggle that and the things we're going to dive into around that. And she loves to help female entrepreneurs build, grow, and scale their dream businesses. So we've got loads in common today around what we want to do, because again, for me, it's about taking knowledge and skills and figuring out how you can monetize it in different ways, but also just how you can leverage cash flow and the importance of it in your business, because we quite often avoid numbers. We were talking about this recently with an accountant. We know it's the foundation to success, and it's a foundation for growth, making informed decisions, because if you have cash flow sorted, you can do other really cool stuff like run a show like this. So let's get into some of these questions. So welcome, girls. It's brilliant to have you here. Thank you so much. We're going to keep it conversational as well, so feel free to jump in if you need to. So let's get started with you, Emma. Talk about how you transitioned, how you grew your business, but also kind of what made you transition into creating some of this digital arm, which lots of business owners I talk to go, oh, that's not for me. I can't possibly do it. How do I get started? So kind of what took you down that journey?
I would say, traditionally HR consultancy is exchanging time for money, which is limited in how much you can scale it. So even though I have a team of currently 6, it has been bigger.
Brilliant.
It's varied. We've been going 17 years, so I've certainly learned a lot in that time, some of which I'd repeat, some of which I wouldn't. But I think particularly COVID, which hit us really hard from the training side of the business, is thinking, well, what can we do that's, I said, more sustainable, more scalable? Because if you're just exchanging time for services, every time you get to a certain point, you have to bring on another team member.
That's it, with high margins, isn't it? Yeah.
So we'd already always had what we called the document library, which is a really dull name as well, but never actually done anything with it.
That doesn't really light you up, document library, no.
So it was accessible to our clients.
Yeah.
But they didn't use it because they were paying for the full HR service. So why would they? Because they're ringing us to say, can you do that for us? Which was the point of the service. So it was really looking at how can we/I grow the business without having to take on anybody else, because I love the team that I've got and think, actually, what can we do? And similar, I have 2 children. They're both, well, one's flown the nest, the other one will fly this year.
Yay.
And thinking, well, how...
It's like, yay and no.
How can I continue to grow the business? Because I'll have 2 lots of university fees to pay for.
Yep.
But also get a little bit of work-life balance back, thinking, actually, maybe we could have weekends away or work from anywhere.
Yeah.
Thinking, right, how can I do that? So that's kind of where it came from.
I love it.
And also, a lot of our traditional clients pay a lot more money. So I knew that also a lot of small businesses who needed HR couldn't have access to it. So that's pretty
really
much
powerful,
where it came from, the HR hub. Yep. And now we're just moving into, which is only launched last week, a whole suite of e-learning as well.
Yay, brilliant. So, e-learning is such a big marketplace. If you haven't tapped into it yet, you are leaving money on the table every day. So we're going to dive definitely into that as well. But I really love that you've kind of taken that step, because obviously I think, we talked about COVID before, funnily enough, but it was such a pivotal turning point in so many businesses that had to suddenly do something different that I banged on about for years. And I was just like, so many people come to me and go, that thing you were talking about, it's like, now can we finally do something? So I love that you did and you took action, and we're going to dive into that. I can't wait. It's going to be great. So Kayleigh, tell us a little bit about the kind of your passion, kind of how you got into doing what you're doing. How did you end up being a TEDx speaker? I've always got a fascination with TEDx speakers. I don't know why. But tell us a bit about your background and kind of, what got you started?
Of course, yeah. So my background is actually in education. So I was an assistant head teacher. Was in the education system for 13, 14 years. And I also was an entrepreneur on the side. So I had a photography and videography business, something that I really enjoyed, a passion of mine. It sort of linked to the TV, theatre, drama, all the things I used to do in school. But COVID, funnily enough, was the pinnacle moment, I believe, where a lot of things was sort of going on in my personal life. But also I was working with a lot of students, a lot of younger ladies and younger women, but also teachers. And you could see that so many people had passion and drive, but no one knew what to do. No one knew where to turn. And so my entire business, long story short, came out in COVID as a concept, as an idea to really support female, I say business owners, but originally it was just females, to follow their dreams and to actually really lean into who they are as an individual, as a leader, and to focus on what they want to achieve themselves independently. So the business was born through that route. And then gradually over time, I left the education system. My business just kept growing and growing and growing. And people kept asking me, how do I build a business online? How do I build my confidence? How do I create social media that's going to really activate and capture people's attention? And my skills always been TV, film, theatre, performing, all of those side of things. So I kind of just brought everything together and built or developed the business so that I could support as many women as possible. So that's ultimately kind of where mine comes from, and keeps growing every day, but we absolutely love it. And it's a great way to support women with their passion and really following their dream, no matter what noise is out there online.
I love it. Yeah, and it is an interesting space online at the moment. So for those that don't know me, because obviously I'm going to get involved in this conversation because it's my favourite and this is what I love to talk about. I used to be known as the cash flow queen, so it's quite funny. But again, I came from a corporate space, so I come back in hardcore sales. So I did recruitment, real estate. I'd run a real estate office in London for 7 years. And then I got in heavily into the internet marketing, the online space. But I didn't really like the internet marketing-y thing. It was a bit too get-rich-quicky for me. It was like, but what I learned was obviously lots of skills. And then I was just like, okay, how can I apply these back into small business, which I really love? And then I realised that all these people over here were making loads of money online. And then you had all the small businesses here working really hard. And then I was like, okay, how can we start to bridge that gap? And that's kind of how I got started doing what I was doing, launching and helping people create their first programs. Because for me, again, it's cash flow. And so you've touched on that heavily, Emma, in relation to kind of the shift from working one-on-one. Like, and this again, we're also, a lot of us are service-based businesses. We start with a passion, we start with what we love, but we get trapped into that trading time for money. So what's been the biggest shift in relation to you kind of adding that additional income stream? What have you noticed in your business? And kind of why would you recommend it? I guess that's the key.
It's a huge change.
Yeah.
So we had to have not necessarily new roles as in new people, but new responsibilities within the business.
Brilliant.
So we
Love
have
that. Yeah.
Jodie, who's brilliant because she's really, really creative. So her role is HR. So she creates a lot of documents for the hub.
Yep.
But she's also brilliant at promoting them, getting them on our socials, our commitment to our clients is there's new things in there every single Tuesday. So
Wow.
to today,
Yep.
which would have gone out to all our members with, this is what's new, this is when you'll need it, this is how to use it. And then also, and I'm well known for not being particularly technically minded, so I'm your typical entrepreneur that I can see how I would like it to work, but don't ask me to actually
do it,
make it work.
Yeah, that's good.
So then others within the team, so I'm well known that I can break any technology, so I'm generally not allowed anywhere near it.
Do they ban you from it?
Absolutely. So others in the team who can upload it onto the system.
Yeah.
And also learn by doing.
Yeah.
Thinking, getting feedback. So we, an annual survey to all our members, what would they like? Do they want anything different about the hub itself, or what topics? And we also run a HR clinic once a month, which is really nice because we're building quite a nice community that will have similar faces every month, and then new people coming in.
Yeah.
So even though it's an online platform, people are actually still getting to know each other, which is nice.
How do you think that's changed your clients? Like, how does it change them? Because obviously it can be a lonely journey, even in any type of business that you're in. So really you're now building a community, aren't you? Which is not just about education, but it's about the community feeling as well.
I think as well, which really surprised me, because when we first set it up, I thought the vast majority of our clients would be business owners, so small business owners that employ people. So they need everything that's in the hub, but they can't afford, or certainly don't need, an in-house HR person. But actually, when we look at our membership, probably only about 30% of our membership, around 50% is HR people, because they want that quick access to something that they know has been written by experts. They don't need to overthink it. And particularly, HR can be quite a lonely role if you're in a standalone role, because there's nobody else to say, how do I do this? And that's where the communities come in when they come to the clinics, because they can just go, I need help with something, or I don't know what I'm doing, without worrying about what other people are thinking. And it's great.
I think that's really powerful. Like, again, it's really interesting though, because when I talk to people about this, sometimes one of the biggest things they worry about is competition. Like, because obviously, like, well, if we give it away, if we share it with people, if we do this, like, and I love that you've really embraced other HR people coming into your business, and they've built community.
Because the other 20%, so the other 20% are other HR consultants.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, the first time I saw somebody join, I was like, oh. And I thought, actually, if this had existed 17 years ago when I started, I would sign up to that.
Yeah.
Because I need to do something for a client. I can download it really quickly, which I have no issue with. So there you go, I've done it for you.
But I think there's been the other big shift during COVID was a lot of people that were very siloed in industries. I know I remember talking to girls in recruitment, and they were very much, we'll never get together, we don't hang out, we don't want to share what we're doing, it's all competitive. And it changed, didn't it? It changed the way people work together, I think, massively. So I think that's really, really powerful. So it's obviously added another arm to your business, it's added another revenue stream, and we're going to dive into that a bit more. Kayleigh, in relation to kind of your growth, in relation to kind of what you do with people, what's been your biggest kind of, I guess, shift in relation to leveraging online? Like, why did you choose online to leverage?
So I think the online space, there's so much opportunity. You know, there really is. And for me, it's always been about, empowering the women and allowing people to really become a leader as who they are and achieve what they want to achieve. And in my journey, my business is growing quite rapidly, but in the first year is the biggest learning year. Because you learn so much in your first year of business, don't you? And, when I started my business with the one-to-one concept, so one-to-one coaching, and I very, very quickly learnt that I'm not giving myself the best opportunity to support as many people because my time was limited. I was working full time at the time as well, managing all of my time. So I wanted to introduce something that was, again, giving me the opportunity to support more people, but then also with the talk of cash flow, allowing you to kind of build and expand and obviously grow your business. So I introduced a one-to-many model very, very early on in my business, which most people would advise you not to do. I actually disagreed and thought, no, I'm going for it anyway. And you know what? It's the best decision I made because it just opened up so many opportunities to, in what you were saying actually, in building community. Because more than ever before, the online space is, as you said, about competition, but actually it's quite a lonely place as well. You think it isn't, but it really is. And I think the entrepreneurial journey as well. So I love this idea of being able to create something to open up the door for so many more people. And then that obviously in turn then supported me with my cash flow.
Yeah.
But it also supported every single individual that was coming into that space.
And it's interesting because I've always been a high ticket girl. So I've obviously done a lot of high ticket sales in my life. Obviously doing real estate recruitment, I could sell anything. Yeah. So I started with very high ticket, low numbers. And again, someone said to me the other day, do you regret doing that in your business? And it's like, no, but I wish I'd gone wider faster. So again, it was funny. I was busy doing it for everyone else and helping all my clients because I did a lot of big done with you launches and all that sort of thing. So I did it for everyone else. But again, the impact and what you create as a community, but also a little army of people that are talking about you. So I do wish I'd gone a bit wider, faster. It was interesting. It's, we talk about lessons and what we've learned. But I like the deep transformation. So I tend to work one-on-one with a lot of people because I like to kick their butt to get things done. But again, it's really important to have these multiple income streams, isn't it? So how has it affected your cash flow? So in relation to kind of business, we know the lifeblood of any business is cash flow. Yep. And the biggest pitfalls we see, especially a lot of coaches and service-based business that come into the industry, is they have this massive roller coaster, don't they? Roller coaster of income. So and we know the experience of it, but why is it so important to leverage and balance out some of that cash flow in relation to your business? How's that impacted you guys?
So I think from my perspective, having my business model was really, really simple, and I've got, your high ticket, mid ticket, your low ticket, and different, and three main areas to kind of come in. But one-to-many, speaking about the concept of one-to-many as part of your business model, I think it's really important because then you're giving yourself the opportunity in terms of cash flow to income stack and also to bring in that recurring revenue. We know that cash flow is so important that I always sort of say to my clients and say to people who I speak to, if you're going through the kind of the launch method of up and down, it's something that I've never enjoyed. And I'm known as the evergreen queen, so I love evergreen sales all the time. But I think if you're able to then have something, whether it's evergreen or not, but have something that's consistently allowing you to income stack and bring in recurring revenue, such as memberships, such as one-to-many programs or anything along those lines, it will allow you to bring in that consistent cash flow. And you feel a little bit more secure then, don't you, as an entrepreneur in terms of where you stand. And you can obviously, again, then forecast roughly what you're going to be bringing in for the next 3, 6, 12 months. Yeah.
And I think forecasting is so important. But again, it allows you to make those decisions, doesn't it? Because it's like you said, if you know where you're going, one of the biggest struggles that I see with most entrepreneurs they face is like they want to hire someone, or they need team support, or they need resources, and they just don't have the consistency to go, I can take someone on and I'm okay with that. So I think that for me is one of the big powers. How have you seen that impact your business, Emma? What's been the change for you?
Yeah, I think for us, we've still got, because we still do the other side, that's still the biggest part of the business. So all our clients, some of which have been with us for over 10 years, they pay monthly, but they're on a 3-month notice period. So that allows you to forecast, because you always know what you've got 3 months ahead. We've always kept it at 3 months because I have a big issue with some of our bigger competitors that lock people in for years. And I've always said I want people to work with us because they like working with us, not because they're stuck. But it does give you that ability to forecast. Then with the digital side, because the hub is, a cancel anytime, so it's monthly.
So it's monthly subscription.
So because we only launched it last January 24. So it's still a learning thing, but now we're starting to build how long on average do people stay.
But again, it's knowing your numbers, isn't it? Average lifetime value of your client.
And for the last sort of 3 or 4 months, we've offered it that you can have your first month for free.
Brilliant.
So now we're starting to build data around of the people who join for free, what percentage stay. Because we all know, we all do that, don't we? We all sign up for stuff for free because we just
want to have a bit of a nosy round.
It's just the way it is. So
I might want to do that one thing.
So we're still quite early on in that journey. We can't necessarily say a definite average of whatever, but like I said, it enables you to kind of predict, which hopefully will be the same for e-learning. I think on an average month we sell this many places on the different courses. So it gives you that element of stability, and we've still got the other side of the business there.
Well, that's it. And I think that's really important too, because a lot of people think that because they build an online business, they have to stop what they do. And it's like, no, I love my one-on-one work. I'll never stop doing some deep one-on-one work, never. So you can have that balance. The idea is it creates another income stream for your business. And again, people think quite often, can I do it alongside my existing business? And it's like I said, if you're doing something that complements what your business does, it's very easy to do. But I love that you're tracking numbers, because again, Kayleigh, you must have heard And you must hear this all the time. Like, they never track numbers.
No.
And it's like, and this is, and again, it's one of the biggest fallacies around, I think, especially around cash flow and money in business, is as women, we quite often avoid it. Like, there's no two ways about it. We've just talked to the property girls who've said, even when they get started, numbers are so crucial, yet still so many hide away from it. They'll still make emotional decisions, and it's like, but it gives you so much valuable data, because then you can start to create a predictable business, can't you?
Yeah.
Whereas, if you bring 100 people in here, if you get 20% conversions, you know roughly how many people. And like you said, you're starting to look at lifetime value. So again, hopefully we're not bamboozling you with numbers, but it's important to look at, because again, when we're growing businesses or looking at cash flow, it's really important because you want the margins, don't you? Because the benefit of the online space, which is why we love it so much, is because it's very high profit margins. It doesn't take you a lot to run it, does it? It's not a high cost in relation to it. So in relation to kind of just setting the scene in relation to building an online business or just growing your cash flow, what was, I guess, the biggest thing that maybe was going to stop you getting started? So you mentioned tech. Like, tech for me is one I hear a lot of the time.
dreaded tech.
Yeah, and it's like, no, just let tech follow. It's like, get started first and tech will follow. But what in relation to that kind of...
I think probably tech was because we originally, the hub was, and this is me and tech, was sat on our website, and then we realised, or I didn't, but people realised relatively early, that was really slowing down the website. So we started working with somebody else who put it on a new platform for us.
Brilliant. Yep.
But then we had to move clients, so we actually lost quite a lot of clients.
Interesting.
So I would say, even if it's not your strong point, find somebody who knows about these things, and choose the best platform. Well, as far as you can tell at that point, from the beginning. But other than that, I think it's playing to your strengths, isn't it? Thinking if that's the business you want to build, even if it's not employing somebody, thinking who knows what they're doing, because you might need to spend an amount up front, and then some kind of retainer for somebody to look after it if you can't employ. Whereas we got a company to help us do it, and then parted ways because they'd done what they needed to do. Because we knew what, I say we, the team,
not
knew
you,
what they were doing at that point. but
they
also
train the team at the same time.
We do have the processes. So because I'm very much very practical, think, well, if somebody goes off sick or whatever, it can't be that only one person knows how to do that job. No. So if I had to do it, I could, because I could follow some process. Probably take me 10 times longer than anyone else in the business.
But again, it's good to have a basic knowledge.
Just if one person's not there. So,
but I really love that. So don't let tech be the thing. Because again, I had to pick up on tech because so many times I hear people go, but what's the right platform? What's this? What's that? And it's like, but they haven't even got the concept first. It's like, okay, let's look at your audience first. What are you going to create? I always love to sell first before I create, because I just think get paid to create anyway. Because then it's most of the time it covers
motivation then, isn't it?
Most of the time it covers your cost to pay for tech, because in worst case you can outsource a tech, you can get it set up. There's so many people now, there's so many easier platforms to use than what there used to be 10 years ago. So what about you in relation to that, Kayleigh? Like, how's it affected your business in relation to, what was your biggest thing? What was the thing that kind of, you dove into one-to-many quite quick, which a lot of them don't. A lot of them have that fear of like, let me tell you, actually, one of the fears I guess I hear a lot is I don't have enough numbers. That's always one. Like, oh, what if no one joins? Yeah. Because obviously you're trying to create a group program, you're trying to create something that's leveraged, and then you look at, oh, what if I only get 2 people or 1 person signs up? How do you overcome that one?
Absolutely. It's a great question. And it is something that went through my head. I was very confident in teaching and doing the things that I do, but that was my worry. It was, have I got a big enough audience? Have I got enough people inside that audience who are going to actually want this offer? So a lot of mindset work. I think a mindset plays a massive part of this. And I know it's, there's the tech side of things and all of the strategy, but mindset is a massive player when it comes to anyone, growing their business, scaling their business, or introducing, different revenue income streams such as memberships, etc. So I think mindset was a massive thing for me, and I know it is a massive thing for my own clients as well, and it's something that I think we have to do that little bit of work on all the time. And actually, do you know what? I always think if you don't try, you don't know.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
To be honest, if you don't try, you don't. And it's always such a lesson, such a journey for us, isn't it? That we learn through our own mistakes, we learn through the challenges that we face. And I do believe that if you don't go out there and sell the thing, you're never going to sell the thing.
Yeah. I think you've touched on a really good point there, because again, I often say, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Like, what is the worst thing? Like, you put an offer out, doesn't sell, doesn't make any sales. It's like, Have you done the wrong thing? Maybe not. Right audience. Maybe it's the wrong offer for the wrong audience. But again, we talked about this in some of the property stuff as well. Like, if you don't get started, you're never going to change something. You know, it's like you said, you could have sat on your laurels. You could have gone, do you know what? We'll just ride out COVID. We'll see what happens. But again, it got you started into a different angle and a different way of doing business that you may not have ever done. And I think that's really powerful as well. And I think mindset, plays a crucial part. It's just constant, isn't it? It's never ending. And I think especially with the women in business, it's always on your mind. We're talking about comparison, imposter syndrome, like, do we charge enough? All that sort of thing. So mindset is always crucial, isn't it? Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, cool. So we've set the scene in relation to this mini-series. So this is about, obviously, like you said, we want to talk about how you can leverage cash flow, how you can potentially create some more, especially if you've got an existing business or you're thinking about starting a business. How can you do that to get started? And we're going to go next into some of the different types of business models that you could potentially use. So we've already mentioned potentially memberships, things like that. And we're going to dive deep into that so that if you do sit there and I want to overcome this kind of, I don't have any knowledge to sell, we're going to talk about that one for sure. Because most people think, how do I get started? I don't know if I've got enough experience. I remember talking to someone that had been 20 years in recruitment going, I don't know anything, like, how on earth could I start a business? It's like, only I know the recruitment industry. So we're going to go through some of that in the next segment. So join us back here very, very shortly. Thank you for setting the scene, girls. This has been great. We are going to hopefully help you create some more cash flow so you can build your long-term wealth. And we'll see you back here very, very shortly.